Navigating the Department of Veterans Affairs, especially when seeking stability after a long-term disability, often feels like trying to decipher an ancient, poorly translated manual in the dark. The stakes are incredibly high. Choosing the wrong path or misunderstanding the subtle differences between benefits can cost you years of financial stability, critical medical access, and the peace of mind you absolutely deserve. We are talking about the difference between a life of dignity and constant financial struggle. Today, we are cutting through the noise, revealing the absolute best programs the VA offers for true, reliable, long-term disability support, and exposing the programs that, while well-intentioned, often fall short or are fundamentally misunderstood, leading veterans down dead ends. If you are struggling to maintain your footing, or if you are advising a veteran who is, this is the definitive guide to securing that lasting support. We need to start with the foundational pillar, the benefit that dictates everything else you can access, and why maximizing it is the single most important financial move you can make. The absolute cornerstone of long-term stability is service-connected disability compensation. This is not just a payment, it is recognition of your sacrifice and the critical gateway to almost every other meaningful benefit we will discuss. If you are not aggressively pursuing the highest possible rating, you are leaving essential resources on the table. The structure of this compensation is complex, moving from 0% up to 100%, but the real magic, the true long-term security, begins when you hit the higher tiers, particularly the 70, 90, and 100% marks. At the 100% level, the benefits dramatically expand, including crucial healthcare priority, education benefits for dependents, and property tax exemptions in many states. But getting to that 100% rating is where many veterans stumble. It requires meticulous documentation, linking every single secondary condition back to the primary service-connected injury or illness. Many veterans focus solely on the initial primary injury, neglecting the cascading health issues. The orthopedic problems causing nerve pain, the chronic pain leading to mental health challenges, or the medication side effects that create new issues. These secondary conditions are the key to achieving the necessary combined rating for maximum long-term support. You must view your disability claim not as a single application, but as an ongoing, evolving medical narrative that needs constant updating and strategic linkage. Furthermore, understanding the effective date is paramount. The VA can only pay compensation back to the date they received the claim, or the date the condition manifested while on active duty, depending on the specific circumstances and regulations, such as those governing presumptive conditions. Failing to file an intent to file immediately upon realizing a need for support can cost a veteran months or even years of back pay, a substantial sum that could provide immediate, long-term relief. We must also consider the nuanced process of filing itself, which has evolved through the years. Historically, the process was slow, relying heavily on paper and manual review. Now, with the advent of the modernized appeals system, the higher-level review, HLR, supplemental claims, and the Board of Veterans Appeals. Veterans have more defined pathways, but these paths require strategic execution. A higher-level review is a quick way to have a senior reviewer look at the evidence already submitted, ideal for cases where the initial decision-maker clearly missed a piece of evidence or misapplied a regulation. A supplemental claim is the route when new and relevant evidence has been developed, often requiring new medical opinions or buddy statements. The Board of Veterans Appeals is reserved for the most complex cases, offering 3 dockets: direct review, evidence submission, or a hearing. Each choice has profound long-term implications for the speed and success of the claim. Veterans must assess their case critically. Is the evidence already strong enough? HLR. Or do they need to spend months gathering more proof? Supplemental. This strategic choice determines how quickly long-term disability support is secured. Moreover, the VA schedule for rating disabilities, VASRD, is constantly updated, meaning veterans who received ratings years ago based on outdated criteria might be entitled to an increase based on current medical understanding. For instance, mental health ratings have specific criteria regarding occupational and social impairment. A veteran rated at 50% might now meet the criteria for 70% if their symptoms have worsened or if the documentation more accurately reflects their current level of functional impairment. This is not about exploiting the system. It is about ensuring the rating accurately reflects the severe disruption the service-connected condition has caused in the veteran's life and ability to maintain long-term financial stability. Securing that maximum rating is the foundation upon which all other long-term security is built. Without it, the rest of the VA landscape becomes significantly harder to navigate. The second best program, and perhaps the most misunderstood pathway to true 100% long-term support, is total disability, individual unemployability, or TDIU. This program is absolutely essential for veterans whose service-connected disabilities prevent them from maintaining substantially gainful employment, even if their combined rating is technically below 100%. Specifically, if their rating is 60% for a single condition or 70% combined with one condition at 40% or more. TDIU pays the veteran at the 100% rate, providing that same critical financial stability and access to expanded benefits, but without requiring the medical threshold of a scheduler 100% rating. The key here is proving unemployability. It's not enough to simply be unemployed. You must prove that your service-connected conditions are the direct reason you cannot hold a job that earns above the federal poverty line. This distinction is crucial for long-term planning. Many veterans attempt to work marginal employment, small, low-paying, often temporary jobs, which can inadvertently disqualify them from TDIU if not properly documented. Marginal employment is typically defined as income below the poverty line, but the VA also considers sheltered workshops or jobs with significant accommodations. The veteran needs to demonstrate that if those accommodations were removed, or if they were required to compete in the open labor market, they would fail. This requires compelling evidence from vocational experts, detailed statements from former employers explaining why the veteran could not continue, and thorough medical records linking the inability to perform job duties directly to the service-connected conditions. Successfully navigating a TDIU claim provides the identical financial and ancillary benefits of a 100% rating, making it a powerful tool for long-term disability support when the scheduler route is blocked. Moreover, TDIU claims often hinge on the concept of substantially gainful employment. The VA scrutinizes tax returns and employment history. If a veteran has attempted to work and failed, documenting those failures, the frequency of absences, the need for excessive breaks, the inability to handle stress, or the termination due to physical limitations becomes the most compelling evidence. This isn't about laziness, it's about the medical reality of the disability. Furthermore, there is the concept of extra-scheduler TDIU, which applies in rare cases where the veteran does not meet the standard 60-70% rating threshold, but demonstrates unique circumstances where their disabilities are so exceptional or unusual that they prevent employment. This path is much harder and requires approval from the Director of Compensation Service, but it is an option for veterans with complex, low-rated conditions that, when combined, create total unemployability. Long-term support for a veteran relying on TDIU also involves continuous monitoring. While TDIU is often considered permanent if the underlying conditions are static, the VA retains the right to review the case if new evidence of substantially gainful employment arises. Therefore, the veteran must understand the rules surrounding income reporting and employment attempts to avoid losing this vital long-term financial lifeline. TDIU is a program that recognizes the functional reality of disability over the numerical rating, securing essential long-term financial security for those who cannot work. Next, we must discuss the true hidden treasure of the VA system, the program that provides exponentially higher financial support for the most severely disabled veterans. Special Monthly Compensation, or SMC. SHU. If you have a 100% rating and you stop researching, you're likely missing out on thousands of dollars monthly that are specifically designed for long-term care needs. SMC is not an increased percentage. It is a specialized benefit paid in addition to the standard disability compensation. It is triggered by specific, severe circumstances: the anatomical loss of a limb or the loss of use of a limb, the need for consistent daily aid and attendance, or severe combinations of disabilities, such as deafness combined with blindness. The levels of SMC are designated by letters K, L, M, R, S, and the financial difference between a standard 100% rating and an SMC rating can be staggering, often doubling the monthly payout. For long-term disability support, SMC is the difference between struggling to afford professional in-home care and being able to secure it comfortably. The most common trigger for SMC is the need for aid and attendance, SMCL or SMCR. This applies when the veteran requires the regular assistance of another person to perform activities of daily living, ADLs, such as bathing, feeding, dressing, or managing severe mental health symptoms that necessitate constant supervision for safety. Proving the need for aid and attendance requires detailed medical evidence from a treating physician, often including a specific VA form, 2126A2, detailing the exact services required. This documentation must be granular, explaining why the veteran cannot safely or independently perform these tasks. SMC also covers conditions like the loss of a creative organ, SMCK, which is often overlooked but provides a small, valuable addition. The higher levels, SMCR and SMCT, are reserved for the most severe combinations, often involving total deafness, blindness, and the need for continuous higher-level care. Understanding and aggressively pursuing SMC is non-negotiable for veterans with catastrophic disabilities. This benefit directly addresses the long-term, high cost of necessary care, ensuring financial sustainability for the veteran and their family. The application process for SMC is often complex because it requires the VA to make a judgment call on the level of functional impairment rather than just a numerical rating. For example, the loss of use of a hand might be rated the same as the anatomical loss of that hand, provided the functional limitation is equivalent. This requires extensive testing and detailed physician reports that go beyond standard diagnosis codes. Furthermore, the combination rules for SMC are highly technical. A veteran might combine SMCK for loss of a creative organ with SMCS for housebound status to achieve a higher total monthly payment. The VA provides a complex matrix for combining these benefits, and mistakes here are common, leading to underpayment. For long-term care planning, SMCR2 is the pinnacle, reserved for those who require continuous, higher-level personal care, often equivalent to institutional care, but prefer to receive it at home. This specific benefit is a game-changer for families attempting to keep a severely disabled veteran at home, rather than placing them in an expensive nursing facility. Securing SMC is about recognizing the true severity of the disability and ensuring the financial support matches the veteran's unique, long-term care requirements. It is a fundamental component of financial security for the catastrophically disabled. Moving away from direct cash compensation, the fourth best long-term support program focuses on independence and adaptation. Veteran Readiness and Employment, VR&E, CHAS, Chapter 31. Often mistakenly viewed solely as a college tuition benefit, VR&E is far more comprehensive, especially for veterans with long-term disabilities that impact their ability to work or live independently. VR&E has 5 main tracks, and the Independent Living IL track is the most vital for long-term disability support. The IL track is designed for veterans whose disabilities are so severe that they are currently unable to pursue traditional employment, but who can achieve a significantly improved quality of life through adaptive services. This might include home modifications, ramps, widened doorways, adapted bathrooms, or specialized equipment like voice-activated computers, adaptive vehicles, or service animals. VR&E funds these adaptations, providing essential long-term support that increases independence and reduces the need for constant human assistance. For veterans whose disabilities are not service-connected or whose service-connected disabilities are lower rated, VR&E can still provide vocational rehabilitation services, including career counseling, job training, and educational assistance. But the IL track is the true long-term disability asset, recognizing that sometimes the goal isn't employment, but maximized quality of life despite profound physical or mental limitations. The eligibility requirement is simple. The veteran must have a service-connected disability rating of at least 10% and be found to have an employment handicap. The process starts with an initial evaluation and counseling session with a VR&E counselor who determines the veteran's entitlement and the best track forward. Successful long-term utilization of VR&E requires the veteran to be proactive and clearly articulate their goals, whether vocational or independent living focused. The VR&E program is inherently flexible, allowing for customized long-term plans that evolve as the veteran's needs change, making it a powerful tool for maintaining independence over decades. Furthermore, the VR&E program provides crucial supportive services often overlooked by veterans focused solely on cash benefits. For those pursuing the vocational track, VR&E covers tuition, books, fees, and provides a monthly subsistence allowance, allowing the veteran to focus on retraining without immediate financial strain. For those on the independent living track, the scope of services can be incredibly broad, including necessary assistive technology, specialized medical equipment not covered by standard VA healthcare, and even training for family members or caregivers on how to use the adaptive equipment. The long-term value here is not just the cost savings on adaptive equipment, but the profound psychological benefit of increased autonomy. Imagine a veteran with severe mobility issues. VR&E can provide a custom-fitted van with hand controls and a lift, fundamentally changing their ability to access the community and maintain social connections, a critical component of long-term mental health and well-being. The challenge with VR&E lies in the discretion of the individual counselor. A veteran must advocate strongly for their needs and provide medical documentation that clearly justifies the necessity of the requested adaptations for their long-term stability and functional capacity. If a request is denied, the veteran has the right to appeal the decision, and understanding the specific regulations governing the independent living track is vital for a successful appeal. VR&E is a comprehensive program designed to restore a veteran's capacity for self-sufficiency, making it an indispensable resource for long-term disability management. The fifth critical program, which provides essential financial security for veterans who are older or who have non-service-connected disabilities, is the Panbatui Veterans Pension, particularly with the Aid and Attendance, ANA, or housebound enhancements. Unlike disability compensation, this is a needs-based program tied to income and net worth limits. While the income limits might seem restrictive, the ANA and housebound enhancements significantly increase the maximum payable benefit, making it a viable long-term support option for veterans requiring consistent personal care. This program is critical because it steps in when service connection cannot be established. To qualify, the veteran must have served during a wartime period and meet strict financial criteria, including a net worth limit that is reviewed annually. The veteran's income is calculated, and if they meet the criteria, the VA pays the difference up to the maximum annual pension rate, MAPR. The true long-term value, however, is unlocked with ANA. ANA is granted when the veteran requires assistance with ADLs, is blind, or is residing in a nursing home. Housebound is a lesser benefit, granted when the veteran is substantially confined to their immediate premises due to disability. The ANA enhancement is substantial, often providing thousands of dollars monthly that can be used to pay for in-home care, assisted living facilities, or nursing home costs. This is a crucial benefit for aging veterans facing escalating long-term care expenses. The application process is notoriously difficult due to the stringent financial verification and the requirement for detailed medical documentation proving the need for care. Many families hire specialized attorneys or accredited agents to navigate the complex asset transfer and income calculation rules to ensure eligibility. For long-term financial planning, the veteran's pension with ANA is an absolute lifesaver, providing a safety net when the high costs of senior care threaten to deplete a family's savings. The complexity of the Veterans Pension Program, especially concerning the financial requirements, cannot be overstated. The VA looks at both income, IVAP, and net worth. The net worth limit changes yearly, but is designed to ensure the benefit goes to those with genuine financial need. Crucially, the VA has a 3-year look-back period for asset transfers, meaning that any attempt to divest assets to qualify for the pension within 3 years of application can result in a penalty period of ineligibility. This necessitates careful, long-term financial planning. The medical criteria for aid and attendance are similar to those for SMCL, focusing on the inability to perform ADLs. However, because this is a non-service connected benefit, the medical evidence must be robust and focus on the current functional impairment, regardless of the cause. Furthermore, the pension is often utilized by surviving spouses, survivor's pension or death pension, providing critical long-term financial stability to the family after the veteran has passed, provided the spouse also meets the wartime service and financial criteria. This program, while means-tested, offers a vital layer of long-term support for veterans and their families who have limited financial resources and high care needs, ensuring they do not face the catastrophic costs of aging care alone. The 6th best program focuses not just on the veteran, but on the future of the family. Chapter 35, Dependents Educational Assistance, DEA. This is a massive long-term benefit derived directly from the veteran's status, providing essential educational funding for spouses and children. DEA is generally available if the veteran is 100% permanently and totally disabled, either scheduler or through TDIU, or if the veteran died from a service-connected disability. The benefit provides up to 36 or 48 months of education benefits, depending on the specific program the dependent is using, covering tuition, fees, and providing a monthly stipend. For a family dealing with the economic fallout of a severe long-term disability, knowing that the cost of higher education for their children is covered provides unparalleled peace of mind. This benefit ensures the disability does not derail the next generation's opportunities. Spouses generally have 10 years from the date the VA confirms the veteran's 100% rating to use the benefit, though this period can be extended. Children usually must use the benefit between the ages of 18 and 26. The key to maximizing this long-term support is understanding the time constraints. Dependents must be encouraged to use the benefit early and strategically. Furthermore, DEA can often be combined with other state or federal benefits, maximizing the financial return. While it does not provide direct cash to the veteran, it eliminates a major, predictable long-term expense for the family, freeing up resources for necessary care or household expenses. Chapter 35 is a critical piece of the long-term security puzzle, ensuring the disability status of the veteran translates into a legacy of opportunity rather than hardship. The long-term implications of Chapter 35 extend beyond basic tuition coverage. The monthly stipend provided to the dependent student can be a significant help in covering living expenses, allowing the student to focus on their studies rather than needing to work full-time. This indirectly supports the veteran by reducing the overall financial burden on the household. However, understanding the interplay between DEA and other educational benefits is critical. For instance, dependents may sometimes qualify for the Fry Scholarship for children of service members who died in the line of duty after 9/11, which offers post-9/11 GI Bill benefits. Navigating which benefit is best, or if they can be used sequentially, is a complex long-term planning decision. Another often missed component is the use of DEA for non-traditional education, such as vocational training, apprenticeships, or distance learning, providing flexibility for dependents who may need to remain close to home to assist with the veteran's care. The long-term stability provided by DEA is not just financial. It is a profound investment in the family's future, mitigating the economic strain that severe disability inevitably causes. Finally, the seventh best program, though it doesn't provide direct cash income, is the access to comprehensive VA health care. For long-term disability management, consistent, high-quality, and affordable health care is arguably the most valuable benefit available. Once service-connected, veterans are generally eligible for VA health care, often with minimal or no copayments, depending on their priority group and the nature of the condition being treated. For veterans with severe long-term disabilities, this access ensures they receive specialized care, from prosthetics and orthotics to mental health services, physical therapy, and pain management, all crucial for maintaining functional capacity and preventing secondary complications. The VA operates highly specialized centers such as spinal cord injury (SCI) centers and centers for post-traumatic stress disorder (PTSD) that offer expertise often unavailable or unaffordable in the private sector. The long-term value of this is immeasurable. Avoiding catastrophic medical debt and receiving consistent, proactive care prevents the spiral of worsening health that often accompanies severe disability. The key to maximizing this long-term benefit is understanding the priority groups. Veterans with a 50% or higher service-connected rating, or those deemed unemployable, TDIU, are typically placed in Priority Group 1, guaranteeing them the ESEC highest level of access and the lowest co-payments. This ensures that financial concerns never interfere with necessary long-term medical treatment. Utilizing the full scope of VA health services, including its pharmacy benefits and specialized programs, is essential for a stable, high-quality life with a disability. The long-term support provided by VA healthcare is also evolving, incorporating telehealth and community care options, which are particularly vital for veterans living in rural or underserved areas. The ability to receive specialty consultations or routine mental health appointments via video conferencing removes significant logistical and financial barriers. Furthermore, the VA's long-term care services, including nursing home placement, adult day health care, and respite care for caregivers, are essential components of disability management. While these services require specific eligibility assessments, their availability within the VA system provides a crucial safety net for veterans whose care needs escalate over time. The prescription drug benefit is another major financial stabilizer. For many veterans with chronic conditions, the lifetime cost of medication can be astronomical. The VA's comprehensive formulary and low or zero co-payments for service-connected conditions significantly reduce this financial burden, ensuring compliance with treatment plans and better long-term health outcomes. access to specialized equipment such as customized wheelchairs, hearing aids, and environmental modifications prescribed by VA clinicians, is also a vital long-term benefit that ensures the veteran can maintain maximum independence and quality of life. The VA health system is designed to be a lifetime partner in managing the complexities of service-connected disability, making it an irreplaceable pillar of long-term support. Now we must transition to the other side of the ledger. While the VA offers these 7 phenomenal programs for long-term disability stability, there are 7 other programs or benefits that, while potentially useful in specific contexts, are often misunderstood, oversold, or simply ineffective for providing the robust long-term disability support, meaning income, specialized care funding, or permanent stability, that veterans truly need. Relying on these programs for your primary long-term security plan is a mistake that leads to frustration and financial gaps. The first program that often provides minimal long-term disability support is Standard VA Life Insurance, SGLI, CVGLI. Chaffee? This is a classic case of confusing a death benefit with a disability benefit. SGLI, Service Members Group Life Insurance, and VGLI, Veterans Group Life Insurance, are absolutely crucial for providing financial security to survivors upon the veteran's death. However, they offer almost zero direct, long-term support for a living veteran dealing with chronic disability. The only exception is the SGLI Traumatic Injury Protection, TSGLI, which provides a one-time lump sum payment for specific, severe traumatic injuries that occur while in service. But this is a short-term payout, not a source of reliable, long-term income or care funding. Veterans often confuse the lump sum payment from TSGLI with ongoing disability income replacement. They are fundamentally different. Long-term disability requires monthly, sustainable income or funding for care. Life insurance, by definition, is only realized upon death, relying on the cash value, if any, though SGLI, VGLI are term life, or the anticipation of a future payout, does nothing to address the immediate and decades-long financial needs imposed by a severe disability. For long-term stability, cash flow programs like disability compensation and TDIU are essential. Life insurance is an important supplement for family protection, but it is a poor substitute for disability support. The confusion often stems from the marketing or the initial briefing received upon separation. Veterans are correctly advised to maintain their VGLI, especially if they have health issues that would make private insurance expensive or unobtainable. But this is purely a survivor benefit. The proceeds cannot be used to pay for a veteran's long-term care needs while they are alive. Furthermore, the premiums for VGLI can become quite expensive as the veteran ages, potentially draining resources that could otherwise be used for immediate disability-related expenses. The true, long-term support needed by a disabled veteran is income replacement and specialized medical funding, neither of which is provided by standard life insurance policies. The distinction must be crystal clear. Life insurance secures the future of your family after you're gone. Disability programs secure your future now. The second program that proves to be highly limited for robust long-term disability support is the HUM Basic Non-Service Connected Pension. We previously discussed the Veterans Pension with the A&A enhancement as a valuable tool. However, the Basic Non-Service Connected Pension without A&A or housebound provides a very low maximum annual pension rate, MAPR. While it provides a crucial safety net, the income thresholds are so low that most veterans who are able to work even marginally or who have any significant savings will not qualify. If a veteran requires substantial long-term financial assistance due to non-service-connected health issues, relying solely on the basic pension will likely leave them in a state of financial hardship. the maximum benefit is simply not designed to cover the high cost of living, especially in areas with high housing costs or when compounded by medical expenses. For true long-term stability, veterans need benefits that provide income closer to replacement wages or that specifically fund high-cost care. The basic pension is a minimum floor, not a sustainable long-term solution. Veterans often apply for the basic pension hoping it will provide the same level of support as disability compensation, only to be disappointed by the low benefit rate and the strict income limitations. For long-term planning, if a veteran requires consistent, substantial financial assistance, they must aggressively pursue the A&A, enhancement, or explore other federal or state assistance programs outside the basic VA pension structure to achieve true financial stability. The financial requirements for the basic pension are incredibly stringent, often pushing veterans into difficult choices regarding asset management. The net worth limit is designed to be a barrier for those who have accumulated even modest savings, meaning that the veteran must often deplete their life savings before they become eligible. This is a difficult position for anyone planning for a long life with a disability. The basic pension calculation is designed to top up a veteran's existing income to the MAPR level, meaning if they have any other source of income, Social Security, small retirement funds, the VA payment will be minimal. For long-term support, a minimal payment is often insufficient to cover rising costs of living, inflation, and unexpected medical expenses not covered by standard health care. Therefore, while the basic pension serves as a last resort, it is a poor vehicle for generating robust, long-term financial stability necessary for managing a severe disability over decades. Third on the list of programs that fall short for long-term disability support is the POSCI VA Home Loan Guarantee. This is an exceptional benefit for acquiring or refinancing a home, offering low interest rates and requiring no down payment. However, it is fundamentally a housing benefit, not a disability support program. It does not provide income, fund medical care, or offer specialized long-term assistance. While securing affordable housing is a component of long-term stability, the home loan guarantee itself does not address the core needs of a disabled veteran: cash flow and medical necessity. Veterans sometimes confuse the loan guarantee with programs that offer housing assistance or adaptations. The only relevant exception is the Spouse Specially Adapted Housing (SAH) and Special Housing Adaptation (SHA) grants, which are excellent disability support tools for severely disabled veterans needing home modifications. But these are grants, which are separate from the core home loan guarantee benefit. Relying on the standard home loan guarantee as a form of long-term disability support is a misunderstanding of its purpose. Its value is exhausted once the home is purchased. For long-term disability support, the focus must remain on sustainable income streams and funding for necessary care and adaptations, which the home loan guarantee simply does not provide. The confusion arises because the VA offers many housing-related benefits. Veterans might mistakenly believe that having the loan guarantee somehow makes them eligible for ongoing financial assistance related to their home or their disability. This is not the case. The loan guarantee is a one-time use benefit, though it can be restored under certain conditions, that facilitates the purchase. For a veteran managing a long-term disability, the financial pressure comes from reduced income and increased medical costs, not the ability to obtain a mortgage. The SAH-SHA grants are the proper avenue for housing adaptation support, providing funding for necessary structural changes, like widening doors, installing ramps, or modifying bathrooms to accommodate wheelchairs. These grants are specifically tied to severe service-connected disabilities, such as loss of use of limbs or blindness. If a veteran does not qualify for SAH-SHA, The standard home loan guarantee offers no financial relief for necessary accessibility modifications, leaving a significant gap in long-term support. Therefore, while securing a home is important, the standard loan guarantee is not a disability support program. The fourth program that offers zero long-term disability support is the standard burial and plot allowance. While necessary and respectful, this benefit is entirely focused on final arrangements. It provides a small allowance to help cover burial costs and, in some cases, transportation of remains. It is a crucial benefit for survivors, ensuring dignity at the end of life, but it offers absolutely no financial or medical assistance to the veteran while they are living with a long-term disability. Including this in a long-term disability support plan is a fundamental error in categorization. The purpose of this discussion is to identify programs that sustain life and quality of life over decades, not those that address the inevitable end. The allowance amounts are also quite modest, meaning they often only cover a fraction of total funeral costs, even for service-connected deaths. For long-term planning, a veteran needs to ensure their focus is on maximizing the income and care benefits while they are alive. Burial benefits are a necessary administrative detail for the family to handle later, but they should never be considered part of the veteran's long-term financial security strategy for managing their disability. The complexity of claiming the burial allowance can also be a source of stress for survivors, but again, this occurs after the need for long-term disability support has ceased. The VA offers different levels of burial allowance depending on whether the veteran died from a service-connected condition or if they were receiving a pension at the time of death. Understanding these differences is important for the family, but completely irrelevant to the veteran's need for decades of stable income or care funding. The focus must remain on sustainable living benefits. Fifth, while crucial for medical access, TRICARE and CHAMP-VA are poor substitutes for comprehensive long-term disability support. TRICARE is the healthcare program for active duty, retirees, and their families. CHAMP-VA, Civilian Health and Medical Program of the Department of Veterans Affairs, provides health coverage for the families of veterans who are permanently and totally disabled, 100% P&T, or who died from a service-connected condition. Both are excellent health insurance programs. However, they do not provide income replacement, specialized grants, or funding for non-medical long-term care needs. A family relying solely on CHAMP-VA for their long-term stability, without the underlying cash compensation from the veteran's 100% rating, would face severe financial difficulty. Health insurance, even comprehensive health insurance, only covers medical bills. It does not pay the mortgage, buy groceries, or cover the cost of a full-time caregiver unless that caregiver is providing skilled medical services specifically covered by the plan. For long-term disability support, the cash compensation programs, disability, TDIU, SMC, pension are the engine. TRICARE, CHAMP-VA are merely the necessary fuel for the medical component. Veterans and their families must understand this distinction. If the veteran loses their 100% P&T status, the family loses CHAMP-VA eligibility, highlighting its dependence on the primary disability status, not its ability to stand alone as a pillar of long-term support. Furthermore, TRICARE is generally not available to veterans who are only receiving VA disability compensation unless they are also retired from the military. This creates massive confusion. Many veterans mistakenly believe that receiving a disability rating automatically grants them or their families TRICARE access, which is often false. They are typically eligible for VA health care themselves, but their dependents are only covered by CHAMP-VA if the veteran is 100% P&T. For long-term planning, this means that the family must secure separate health insurance if the veteran is below the 100% P&T threshold, which adds a significant financial burden. Relying on TRICARE or CHAMP-VA to solve the financial challenges posed by long-term disability is a profound error They are health benefits, not income or comprehensive long-term care funding programs. The sixth program, which is necessary but often becomes a major impediment to a veteran's long-term autonomy and financial management, is the PARCI VA Fiduciary Program. This program is triggered when the VA determines that a veteran is mentally incompetent to manage their own VA benefits. A fiduciary, a person or institution, is appointed to manage the funds on the veteran's behalf. While the intent is to protect the veteran from financial exploitation, the reality for many veterans is that the program is slow, overly restrictive, and can feel highly paternalistic. For a veteran trying to establish long-term financial stability and independence, having a fiduciary control every aspect of their spending can be incredibly frustrating and debilitating. Decisions about major purchases, investments, or even monthly budgets become subject to the fiduciary's approval, which can cause significant delays and loss of control over one's own life. While the program is essential for veterans with severe cognitive impairments, for those with high-functioning mental health challenges or temporary incompetence, the long-term imposition of a fiduciary can hinder rehabilitation and independence. A veteran seeking long-term stability needs control over their resources, and the fiduciary program, by its nature, removes that control. This is a program of necessary oversight, but it is not a program of support or empowerment. The process for removing a fiduciary is often lengthy and requires the veteran to prove competency through medical evidence, which can be a difficult and demoralizing process. The oversight provided by the VA in the fiduciary program has also historically faced criticism regarding the quality of the fiduciaries and the transparency of the financial management. While improvements are constantly being made, the inherent nature of the program, taking away financial autonomy, makes it antithetical to the goal of independent long-term disability management. For a veteran to achieve true long-term stability, they need to retain the ability to manage their own finances, or at least have a clear, rapid path to regaining that ability. The fiduciary program, while protective, often creates an unnecessary barrier to full financial independence. Finally, the seventh area that is often over-relied upon but provides highly unreliable long-term disability support is state and local veterans' benefits. Many states and counties offer specific benefits to veterans, such as property tax exemptions, reduced tuition at state universities, or preference in hiring. Some states offer cash bonuses or small monthly stipends for severely disabled veterans. While these can be excellent supplements, they are fundamentally unreliable for long-term, guaranteed support. Why? Because these benefits vary wildly. From state to state, are subject to local political and budgetary changes, and can be revoked or reduced with little notice. A veteran relying on a state property tax exemption might find that if they move, the new state offers nothing comparable. A state-level cash bonus is a one-time payout, not a source of sustainable income. For long-term disability planning, consistency and federal backing are paramount. Federal VA programs are governed by Congress and provide nationwide consistency, ensuring that a benefit received in California is the same benefit received in Maine. State benefits are highly variable and should be viewed as a bonus layer, not the foundation of a long-term support strategy. Relying heavily on state benefits requires the veteran to maintain residence in that specific state, restricting their ability to move for better medical care, job opportunities for a spouse, or proximity to family, thus reducing their overall long-term flexibility and stability. The inconsistency of state benefits makes them a poor choice for fundamental long-term planning. For example, some states offer property tax exemptions only to 100% P&T veterans, while others extend it to lower ratings or even non-service-connected disabilities. The value of the exemption also varies wildly from a few $100s to complete tax abatement. This variability means that a veteran cannot plan decades in advance based on a state benefit, as that benefit might be drastically altered by the next legislative session. Furthermore, the application processes for state benefits are entirely separate from the federal VA, often requiring redundant documentation and creating unnecessary administrative burdens. While veterans should absolutely utilize every available state and local benefit, they must recognize that these are supplemental, variable resources, and the core of their long-term financial and medical stability must rest firmly on the federal VA programs. In summary, the journey through the VA system for long-term disability support is defined by strategic choices. The 7 best programs: Service-Connected Compensation, TDIU, Special Monthly Compensation, VR&E, the ANA Pension, Chapter 35 DEA, and Comprehensive VA Health Care are the pillars of stability. They provide the necessary income replacement, specialized care funding, and family security needed to sustain a life of dignity despite severe disability. These are the programs where you must invest your time, documentation, and advocacy. Conversely, the 7 programs we identified as less effective for core long-term support, life insurance, basic pension, home loan guarantee, burial benefits, TRICARE, CHAMP-VIA, the fiduciary program, and state benefits, must be understood for what they are: supplements, one-time benefits, or necessary administrative functions. They cannot form the foundation of your long-term plan. Your stability, your financial future, and your quality of life depend on maximizing the federal cash and care benefits. Do not get lost chasing benefits that offer minimal return on your long-term investment. Focus on securing that 100% rating, exploring every avenue of SMC, and utilizing the adaptive power of VR&E. The system is complex, but with the right knowledge and strategy, you can secure the comprehensive, long-term support you earned and deserve. Now, go review your current benefits, identify where you have gaps, and start planning your next, most strategic move.